We are now on the set of the Sanhedrin. Following the upper room scene, the disciples come off of the set, go backstage, and immediately change from being disciples to being priests for the Sanhedrin scene. It's interesting that a number of the people who play the scene find it a little difficult to change from being a disciple of breaking bread with Jesus, and then they're in a trial scene shouting, "Away with him, crucify him." But we tell them that we're portraying a role and that Jesus understands what they're doing. So we meet backstage, we come out on the set for the trial scene. But just to point out, this post used to be the whipping post for Jesus. We now do not use that anymore as a whipping post for Jesus, but this is where Barabbas is arrested and brought out and chained. The whipping for Jesus now comes, if you see the rocks on the set out in front of the stage, he now is lashed to the rock and the whipping is done out there. But all of that takes place after the trial of Jesus. Jesus is in the Garden of Gethsemane. He prays that this cup be passed from me, but yet not my will, but thine be done. So up from the trees, the Roman soldiers will come down along with Judas, will come down to the hill. Judas plants a kiss on the cheek of Jesus, and Jesus is arrested, roped, brought behind stage, and in the meantime, the priests have gathered here for a trial. Normally, we have a number of the disciples who change and become priests, so there's no problem. But occasionally, if we happen to be running thin on extras, it has been known that this is one scene where some of the ladies enjoy getting in costume, putting a beard on with the hat, and becoming a part of the trial scene. William Barclay says in his Gospel of the commentary of Mark that the priests, 71 in number originally, but we only have a cutout portion so you can see how it would be normally all the way around. But Barclay says that the Sanhedrin committed at least 9 different things that they should not have done. For instance, the Sanhedrin was not supposed to meet during Holy Week. They were not to condemn a man to death because they couldn't put a man to death. The witnesses had to be separate. The high priest could not take part. But anyway, all of these 9 things the Sanhedrin broke in order to try to convict Jesus. They finally come up with a conviction that he claimed to be the Son of God. He did several things of an attempt. But they all knew or found out that when they took him before Pilate, that Pilate had a different viewpoint. Anyway, they had to change in order to get a conviction. So it'd be interesting as people in the audience, when you view this scene, is just to follow the dialogue and to learn a little bit of the history of the Sanhedrin and what was legal, what was not, how they finally talked Pilate into pronouncing the death sentence upon Jesus. Let's move on to the next scene.